Hello and welcome
What's up,
to
YouTube?
welcome to another edition of Radical Reality TV. We're back after maybe a week off, because I've been busy.
That's probably it.
But we're back and we missed 2 episodes, but we're basically going to talk about all those 2 episodes, and then we're also going to talk about what's been going on the live feeds the past 2 days. And we have some news on the veto ceremony, stuff like that. We have our normal people here today, minus Malcolm. We got Christian, Tyler, and Dominic. We're all here to talk about these episodes. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're new. Make sure you hit the like button, as Dominic likes to say. Make sure you like and subscribe. But yeah. All right, so let's get right into it. So basically, we'll start off with the live eviction that took place last Thursday. Obviously, Cody Ramses and Alex were on the block. Paul was HOH, and his plan was obviously to backdoor Cody, and it was successful. And Cody ended up being evicted by a vote of 7-3. Yeah, 7-3. And there actually is stuff to talk about with this vote, because it ended up being that Kevin, as directed by Paul, decided that he was going to vote out Ramses to pin it on Jason. And also Christmas in the hospital bed, high on drugs, decided that she was going to vote out Ramses as well. So we had hinky votes, which brought some great TV during the live HOH competition, which was on feeds, which the last 2 HOH competitions have been on feeds. So y'all go buy feeds from one of these other podcast links. We don't have one yet, but Rob as a podcast has one. Reality Recaps has one. I'm not sure if the other ones have them, but go buy feeds so that you guys can see these live competitions. But okay, here's what we could talk about, because these votes got crazy. Who was getting blamed? I'm not sure if they even, because Paul is the only one that knows exactly who both of them were. Others have idea, but Paul is the only one that knows for sure that Kevin and Christmas were the ones that threw the votes. So Christian, I'll ask you this question. Was it smart for Kevin and Christmas to decide to throw hinky votes? What do you think about that?
I personally think that was amazing. The hinky votes started drama. They started chaos. Everybody has been talking about it. What I really enjoyed was, you guys remember on the, I don't know if they showed on the show or the live feeds, Paul looks at Kevin. He's like, "Hey, I need you to evict Ramses." He's like, "Say no more." I was like, man, this dude's a hitman. He knows what's up. I thought it was really smart. The Christmas one kind of threw me for a loop, though. I don't know why she did that. I don't remember any conversations with Paul telling them to. But it did well, because hasn't what was it? Did Dominique get blamed for one of the votes?
I'm sure Paul used Dominique's name to say Dominique was the one that actually threw one of those votes, so that he could try and get her nominated. At one point, the House thought pretty much everybody was responsible for the hinky votes. Yeah, Kevin and Christmas, they've been the brunt of not getting, they've avoided getting blamed the most. I think the most people that have gotten blamed is Mark, Dom. I think those two were the ones that got blamed the most, was Mark and Dominique. I'm pretty sure. So HOH competition, and basically Paul was going to every single person trying to find out who was throwing the votes or whatever. And I think it was interesting, because Mark is the only one that is solid that it was Kevin. And then lately Alex and Jason have kind of caught on to the fact that Kevin's been the one that's throwing these hinky votes. So Kevin needs to chill out, my personal opinion, with the votes, because if he keeps on, we saw it with Eric Stein and BB-8, the hinky votes kept on coming. The hinky votes kept on coming, right? But the first one, they have no clue. The second one, still kind of, they're starting to catch on, and then by the third one, fourth one, You know what I mean? Everybody in the house is gonna know who it is just because it just happens like that. So Kevin needs to be careful because he's gonna get targeted soon if he continues to throw the votes, which I don't think Paul would mind, honestly. But Tyler, so Paul trying to get chaos in the house, it obviously worked. Do you think this puts Paul like under the radar more, or do you think eventually it'll just blow up his game?
I guess it really depends. I mean, I guess I could see it, if people started comparing notes and realized that Paul's kind of the one orchestrating, like for say, telling Kevin to throw a hinky vote to create chaos, like you said, but I think that really ultimately depends on whether they're going to certainly start talking and comparing notes. But, for Paul, I think right now it's working really good. And, it definitely created chaos, like you said. And I think he really sold it well at HOHS, like if he had no idea when in reality he was the one, who told Kevin to do it. But, yeah, that's my opinion. I think it could really thus far, I think it's really good for his game. But long term, it depends, I think.
So, Dominic.
What's up?
Cool.
Jason was the one that was supposed to get blamed for these votes, or the vote originally for Kevin's vote. It was supposed to be 100% Jason getting blamed for it. He's been, not blamed for it at all. Do you think that because he hasn't been blamed for it, do you think that's only a result of Alex winning HOH, or do you think it's because genuinely the group or the team, obviously, but do you think, they're just going to continue to crumble and target each other?
Yo, the team has slowly but surely picked off their own one by one to the point where they're not the majority anymore.
Yeah.
And now it's only 6 people left. And if they keep crumbling, I think there will be a point where it'll be maybe 4 are left, and that'll be a tight 4. I feel like after chopping off limb by limb, they'll have
but I think that's something Paul really wants.
So I think it could work.
Yeah. And Paul, like Tyler was saying, Paul, I think, is living for that scenario because he doesn't want a solid alliance of 6. He wants to be working with everybody in the house individually. You know what I mean? So if he can get it down to a smaller group to where he can manage it more, I think that's better for Paul's game. Whereas a huge group, if they start to, if he is weaving a group so close that they begin to share personal conversations they've had with Paul and kind of compare notes, like Tyler was saying, then that can become a problem. You know what I mean? Because if they're so tight where they're telling each other, Paul told me this, and then the other one says, well, Paul told me that, which 2 completely different things. It could start becoming a problem for Paul's game. But Paul, I like the way that he's playing his game because he's playing fearless, for one. And 2, the thing about Paul's game is it's kind of on a rail. And any small thing, can throw it off the rail completely and he can crash. But you know what I mean? Rail is headed towards winning this game, but the smallest thing can throw that off. So he has to try and avoid those mistakes if possible.
But I think that's much like Paulie Big Brother 18's game. He definitely had a winnable game. And for a little bit in Big Brother 18, it looked like he really was going to go to the end. And then you've seen him start making those mistakes, and then you've seen his game start to unravel. So for Paul, he just needs to really ensure the fact that he's just on top of things. He's ensuring the fact that people are on his side, that he's flying under the radar, that he's not, that people aren't, like I said, comparing notes. And I think right now, thus far, though, he is playing a very good game. How that's going to really unfold throughout the season, that's up for discussion.
Yeah. And I think another good thing to note is that I think Paul, in all of this, he's been blaming people, but he's really been just going with what the other person thinks. You know what I mean? If this person says it was Mark, he says, oh, okay, yeah, I can see where it's Mark. Whereas if Mark says it's Kevin, the only thing that Paul has been fighting is the Kevin thing. If somebody mentions it's Kevin, you know what I mean? It's not Kevin in Paul's mind, and he's just completely deflecting that. And it's kind of getting to the point where it might become obvious that it was Kevin because of the fact that Paul keeps on deflecting it. So that should be another thing to see if Paul and Kevin, get targeted as a duo, which we already see that Kevin may become a target may become a target from Alex and Jason, and who knows, because
sure.
we thought for sure Dominique was like set final 6. We thought she was set.
Yeah, for real, 100%.
Like we thought she was completely set, and then just a flip switch, which I don't even know why Dominique's being targeted right now.
I do.
Like
Paul.
it doesn't even make sense to me. Like Paul just decided. I mean, okay, let's talk about the talk show. Christian, do you go ahead?
All right, so I just want to say for the people watching or the people that will be watching, what they're talking about is like the Kevin thing of him like distracting from Kevin. Remember when was it Mark got off of the HOH competition? Who threw the hinky vote? Mark's like, I think it was Kevin. Paul was like, no way. There's no way that could be Kevin. So just like remember that. Oh, and about the talk show, what Dominique was planning was very smart, trying to get inside information, rumbling. It didn't work because everybody caught on and was like, hey.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, hey, we know what you're trying to do. She's trying to get insight for her mind by asking these dumb questions and asking these questions to try to get people rambled, and they've noticed. So that's why she's on the block, and that's why she will be going home.
Yeah, they basically misinterpreted her idea of what these talk shows were going to be, and then boom, it turned into targeted, and then once that, it just kind of spiraled out of control. Like she was blaming Paul, and then they just got into a huge fight, and now it's basically the house against Dominique because for whatever reason,
Paul's an excellent job on that.
She's also had a bad control of like
she's played a bad social game, but bad
after she got nominated.
Yeah, a bad block game, I guess you would have to say.
Yeah.
Since she's been on the block, man. Wow, she's just been isolating herself and not really been
100%.
in it completely. So I guess we can get on to the HOH competition. Man, it was a short endurance comp. Like I expected to take a lot longer.
That pissed me off.
It was like an hour and a half. It was like an hour and a half endurance competition, but basically the HOH, most of they were sitting on a wall and the wall leaned and they had to hold on and they were having goo and water thrown all over them. And the obvious people fell first, Josh, Mark, the big dudes, they were just completely out of it after like 15 minutes. And then we kind of had a battle brewing. Kevin fell, Raven fell, Ramses fell. The obvious, suspects of not probably going to win endurance comp.
Talk about the Ramses.
What about Ramses?
Remember what he said? He's like that stupid thing. Oh, I got goo on my face. That's the reason why I fell. Yeah, I'm
Ramses,
like, bro, what are you doing, man?
This is like something that we could be talking about this entire summer because it seems like Ramses is believing his own lies that he says in the diary room because he was like, I think it was like a majority of these people, they were like, I slipped, but you obviously saw them jump off of the wall. So it's like, no, you did not slip. You jumped off, but. Yeah, Ramses has been like believing his own lies in the diary room.
It's so
like,
stupid.
With that POV competition, he was like, "Yeah, I tried to throw it, but like before the competition,
no, you didn't.
He said, I'm trying to win it." So it's like, I don't know. Ramses is even confusing us in the diary room, but
for real,
trying to play it up to the cameras too much, I guess. But yeah, so after all the obvious people that we wouldn't expect to win an endurance comp, we had Jessica, Elena, Alex, Dominique, and
Jason.
Cowboy Jason.
Whistle not.
And at this point, I thought Jessica was for sure winning because she was like on that wall, like she was ridiculously good on that wall, and I thought she was solid and that she was going to win this endurance comp, but she slipped. She says,
"Yeah, there you go." That was the only.
It looked like she jumped. No, yeah. I'm pretty sure Jessica was like the only one that actually slipped.
That's what I'm saying. Wall. I'm pretty sure that she didn't jump.
It turns out that it might actually be good for Jessica's game because Jessica might have went after somebody who,
wanted to work.
She might have went after somebody who this week where they targeted Dominique. Jessica is able to actually kind of work back into that group slowly but surely. Sure, she's on the block, but I think that the fact that Jessica didn't win HOH, Dominic, do you think it was better for her to win HOH or? Now that we know like what's going on now, do you think it's better for her not to win? I don't think Dominic heard.
Oh wait, yeah. What? I thought you said Dominique. What's that?
Like, okay, Jessica. Do you think it was good for Jessica's game to not win HOH or to win HOH?
I was so devastated when she fell off, but I mean, I think she should have won it. I feel like she shouldn't have actually won it because I feel like if she won it, Cody just went, and I feel like she's too emotional in the game right now. So I feel like her decisions or nominations wouldn't be the most strategic. I feel like they'd be more emotional or personal.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about with Jessica. And now that she's kind of had like a week to kind of cool down, like she's been on the block, but she's handled it really well. She hasn't made herself a target at all, really. She's kind of working back into the group. And Jessica not winning HOH, in my opinion, I think it was better for her game. And I think it's going to be one of those scenarios that she plays a lot better without her showmance. But if Cody comes back into the game,
she's fucked.
Her game's going to go right back out the toilet. So, Christian, do you think –
Also, the Dominic situation – I'm sorry for interrupting you. Also,
I was going to ask you.
Also, the Dominique situation, like her like blowing her own game up worked perfectly for Jessica's game because Jessica's target was this big and now it's just like continually shrinking.
Yeah. Jessica's target is definitely going down. And I think Jessica has capabilities of being a great game player. Yeah. But like I said, it has to be without Cody. Like, because Cody, that stupid showman's crap, they get too involved. As you saw, she got way too involved with the emotional side of it. She hated Alex. You become something that you're not.
100%.
I hate showmances, especially the showmances that get like really into it.
Just secluding themselves from everybody else in the house. Like they sit in a room by themselves for 3 hours. Yeah, isolated. My bad.
And that's just another reason of why it was better for Jessica not to win HOH because of the fact that she didn't win HOH. It kind of had to make her go out and really, how do I say it? Communicate with people, I should say. And it allowed her to start reestablishing old allies and start gaining new ones. Whereas I feel like if she would have won HOH, she would have just kind of isolated herself in the HOH room by herself. That's what I personally think. And I feel like her not winning HOH, it just allows her to like be able to pull out a page of like Big Brother 10 Dan's book and just use the fact that she's a weak, alone player like she did. She was like, listen, why is Alex going to target me? I don't have any allies. I'm by myself. And she was literally feeding that to Jason. And then it got Jason on board. So she definitely has an ally in Jason. She seems like she's really working her social game right now, which is amazing for her. That's what she needs to really do. Just continue to include herself in everything that's going on and continue to socialize with everybody and obviously just, continue to build relationships. And that's best case scenario for her. Unfortunately, obviously the buyback, if Cody comes back, which odds of him not winning is, very seldom. Pretty much that's going to really, I think, work against Jessica's game because she's not going to be able to sell the fact that she's alone. She's not going to sell the fact that she's weak. And I feel like it's going to really just, much like it did when he was in her, it's going to just cloud her judgment in the game, and it's not going to be good for her game long term. And it'll just be ultimately very detrimental to her game. Like when Cody blindsided Alliance, she got included in that mess because of the fact that she's, with him. So every move that he was going to make that maybe was a stupid move, and even though she might not have been included or knew about it, it's going to still, she's still going to be included with that situation. And it would have just really affected her game. Whereas now, like I'm saying, like I think she really can go far in this game if she continues to play the way she has this week.
Yeah, I think the consistency definitely could be the fact that Jessica, I'm sorry if you guys can hear that. Florida is bipolar.
Florida's
right now.
going crazy right now. Three of us are from Florida, and it's like absolutely tropical storm like weather right now.
For sure.
Like, I don't know if my power goes out, y'all know what it is. If the stream just cuts off, y'all know what it is because it's Florida just decided in the matter of 10 minutes that it was going to start pouring because it was just sunny 5 minutes ago. But that's Florida for you. But yeah, so Jessica for sure. I think, in my personal opinion, we sometimes we jump to conclusions, in the Big Brother game, like we think that everything is going to go in a certain order. Like week 1, everybody thought Josh was going to be the next target, and Josh was for sure going home. And I'm sitting here on Twitter, I'm like, no, y'all, the fact that Josh is supposed to be the one next to go home, he's not going to be. You know what I mean? It just does not work like that. Sure enough,
that golden apple
Josh has
saved his life.
Josh has kind of become under the radar. I still think he could be an easy target, like if they just want to float through a week. But Josh is not a target like he was originally.
Yeah.
But same thing with Jessica. We thought if she didn't win HOH, she was going home. But look at the developments that happened. Anything can happen in the Big Brother house. So if you go in one week thinking something is going to happen, it more than likely is not going to happen. None of us sitting here today thought that Dominique was going to be going home.
Dude, I'm shocked.
But, that's just the way. I'm kind of happy Dominique's going home because, Malcolm had his draft. He had a stacked draft. He had Kevin, Dominique, Matthew, and Alex. His draft team was overboard, and Dominique's going home, so that kind of helps.
Yeah, honestly,
also,
I really didn't
remember
see
her
Dominique
DR
going home.
No,
remember
Christian,
her DR? So on her DR, she's just well, I don't need to win this HOH competition, so I'm just gonna So she's it. I'm you just made a mistake.
Yeah.
You don't know. Dang, you see Florida? You hear Florida?
Yeah.
Dang. I'm dang, Dominique, you don't know that talk show just got canceled. It didn't get renewed for 3 more episodes. It got canceled.
Yeah. So as most of you guys know by now, Alex won. Alex ended up winning the HOH, and it was kind of interesting the way it broke down
Queen
because
Alex.
deals were made.
Good job, girl.
Alex
deals were made. Jason, it was between Jason, Elena, and Alex. Jason was promised protection, and then Elena asked for a certain group protected, and
that's so funny.
She just jumped right off, and then Alex wins HOH, and Alex goes in the storage room, and she's like, I'm going to make a big move. And then she gets out and says she's nominating Jessica someone else, and I was like, what are you doing? Alex, I want to root for her because I feel like she's going to be a good game player. But I feel like she's going to be Paul's puppet. She's going to be Paul's puppet. Everybody else.
She said Paul doesn't lie. She said Paul doesn't lie. I laughed at that.
Yeah, but I think you have to take into consideration the fact that once she won HOH and her and Jason were talking, you remember by the eviction chairs, and he was like,
yes,
well,
that was
you
a good
can't
scene.
put Jessica up, and she's like, you have to because we have to pretend that we have that we're going to be on their allegiance, because if we don't and we show we go after their side completely, it's gonna lose their allegiance, and we're gonna be screwed next week. She's not eligible to win HOH. Jason is very much prone to win HOH, but if your only odds is that one person to win a competition versus a vast majority of house guests, that's not good odds. And for Alex, it was definitely the smartest move that she made, nominating Dominique and Jessica.
Yeah.
Talk about Elena.
Hold on, I just want to say this real quick because I'll let you talk about Elena. I just want to say this. I think you want to target somebody right off the gate, but people don't think that it might not work out, and you might want to take a more cerebral approach at it. And I think this taking out Dominique actually is a tactful way. I don't even know if that was a word that I just said, but it's a good way to start targeting the showmances because it kind of breaks them down a little. I think Jason said it best in one of his diary room sessions. He was like, Dominique is the one that is weaving the showmances together, kind of sewing them and making them closer and tighter. So I think taking out Dominique is kind of cutting one of their legs off without them even knowing. So I think actually, whether Alex planned it this way or not, I think that taking out Dominique before the showmances is actually a good idea because whenever it makes them weaker, whenever it's time to go after the showmances.
Yeah, Dominique's very smart too.
She's very
Dominique. She is very smart. She goes any farther, and who knows what?
I definitely think she needs to progress her social game, but she was a very intelligent player, and regardless if you respect her, you don't like her, she is very intelligent. And and she's one of the people that I feel like for Paul's game would have really hurt his game long term because she's one of the people that I really have seen would have wanted to take a shot at him on his side of the house. Yeah.
But the problem with Paul is he's made so many enemies that no matter who comes, unless it's Cameron that comes back in the battle back, he's screwed. Cody says he's gonna work with Paul. Yeah. After Dominique is gonna, if it's 1-on-1, Dominique will be target Paul. You know what I mean?
I think the only one that really doesn't work is Cameron too, but Jillian. I mean, Jillian doesn't really like.
Jillian's not coming back.
Jillian,
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying like.
There's no way she wins it, but I think she would still target Paul. I think any of those 4 people out will realize that it was Paul's doing, and they'll target Paul.
For Paul though, he really does want Cody to come back though, because Cody is a huge target, so the house will want to go after him. And 2, he does really want to work with Paul. No, does he want to go to the final 2 with Paul? No. Is that apparent? Yes. But will he work with Paul to go after someone like Mark? Yes. Do I really see Paul in the upcoming weeks wanting to target Mark? Yes. Then I'm sure they will eventually, take a shot at each other once presented again. But, I definitely think for Paul's game, if one of them has to come back, it has to be Cody. And that's probably best case scenario for Paul.
Yeah. So, Christian, what were you going to say about Elena?
I thought this has just something to do with Alex's HOH. I thought it was funny how Elena was like, well, here are the people I need saved, and had like a list of like the people she needed saved.
It's like,
and I was like, this leaves like nobody left in the house. Right?
Yeah, I know. And the funny thing is, Dominique was on that list originally, and then turns out Paul gets in Alex's ear, gets in Elena's ear, and sure enough, Dominique ends up going on the block.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I think is a good Dominique leaving on Alex's HOH. I think it's good for Alex's game because
didn't get
did well. She got a target out.
Dominique has been developing as like the house, the house against Dominique. So the fact that Alex is getting that person out, that's good for her game. It doesn't hurt her. It doesn't. Dominique has no allies at this point, so it doesn't like piss anybody off. So for sure, getting rid of Dominique is actually, is going to turn out good for Alex's game.
And it could really work for Elena's game too, because you know how Mark and Dominique, Mark and Dominique were really close. That allows her to be able to pull and wrap in Mark even more. In a sense.
Yeah, but those showmances are getting targeted real quick.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm saying for Elena's game, it allowed her to be able to bring in Mark more and wrap in Mark. Is what I meant. I mean, yes, I definitely.
No, for sure. For sure. I thought the cracks, in the alliance were going to be Elena, Dominique, and Mark, and it turned out it was the crack. I mean, ultimately it was the crack, but for sure, now that Elena has Mark all alone, Mark's not going to target Elena, obviously, now. Whereas before it was looking like he might. Mark's not going to target Elena, but at the same time, just being in a showmance at this stage, the fact that there's 2 of them, that's 4 people tight. 2 people. 2 groups of 2, like they're going to be targeted before jury. There's not a doubt.
Well, I think for Elena though, the best thing for Elena though is the fact that yes, obviously she's going to be targeted. Every showmance is going to eventually get targeted, but the good thing is the fact that Mark's a huge physical, persona, and she's obviously going to be took it out before her.
Right, and I
kind
can
of like
say
Cody with Jessica.
Out of the 4 people that are in showmances, I think Elena has the best social game.
Yeah, she is a very good social gamer, and she is very intelligent.
Right. Out of the 4 people in the showmances, Matt, Raven, Elena, and Mark, she's playing the best social game. So, if anything, if stuff hits the fan, I don't think Elena will be the one going home.
Matt is just nothing. He just eats cereal and wears same shirts every day and works out. That's Matt's routine.
Matt's not even playing for himself. Matt wants to give the game to Paul, Raven, these people. Yeah. Like if anybody gives the game to another person, like I please go home before jury.
But I think Matt's one of those players. He's just gonna play it low, and then once jury kicks around, I think he's gonna start beating
play it lower.
Some competition.
No. Yeah, I think I said it in the last podcast. I think I said it in the last podcast. Whenever these people, whenever they get more emotionally attached to the game and more emotionally attached to the strategy that they have.
Yeah, when you start smelling that money, you know what I mean?
And not even that, but like whenever you you know what I mean? I've put the last 30 days into this strategy that I got going on. I don't want to just throw it away. You know what I mean? Like once they become emotionally and like physically invested in their own game, which at this point they're not really invested in their own game. Once they do become invested, then we might start seeing these people playing. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping for.
It's exactly what Paul
said. Throws their game away. Oh,
even Paul said. Paul said he feels that Raven's the most deserving. Do I think Paul's gonna just hand the $500,000? Don't before people joke like, oh, he handed Nicole the $500,000, but no, he's definitely not gonna hand the $500,000. He's just saying that. You know what I mean? Like you said, once the game gets closer, and it's definitely you're gonna see the players start pushing harder.
Yeah,
for sure though.
For sure. Yeah.
So
So
I'm hoping.
Alex,
I'm hoping.
yeah, I'm hoping too, because if this game continues the way that it's going on now, I will be pissed. Because in my opinion, I think a lot of people have like good views of this game so far, but in my opinion, it's
Yeah,
going downhill fast.
This cast had tremendous
because oh man, but I think we'll start to see it come out eventually, because
yeah, I definitely think
people will start playing the game.
Yeah, you're seeing someone like Kevin. He's working a really good social game, playing both sides, throwing hinky votes in. Elena has a good social game. Dom was very intelligent. Obviously, she's going home this week. Alex, she's a good competitor. She's kind of laying low, really starting to gain allies now. Jessica, she's starting to work her social game and start, So I definitely think once the weeks start to continue and we get closer to jury, I think you're going to see a lot of players really kick it on, and eventually I see somebody really going after Paul. I don't think Paul's just going to have a cakewalk to the end. I know a lot of people keep thinking that, but I really don't see that.
No, Paul's not going to have a cakewalk. He'll be targeted eventually, and I don't know. Like I said, he has right now he's on a rail to win. Like, he's on a path to win the game, but the smallest little obstacle will throw it way off. We haven't really seen these people play the game with Paul not safe, because who's going to say Paul's a target whenever he's sitting there safe?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So we haven't really seen a fair analysis of Paul not being safe. So it should be interesting. Paul's safety comes to an end very soon. So it should be interesting to see exactly what happens. But yeah. So we'll talk about getting to the veto competition, or like who's picked for veto, because I don't really think. Oh well, we could talk about this huge fight that Paul and Dominique had.
ESPN that was
ESPN. What's going on, guys?
Yeah. So
was that before the veto? Yeah, remember? Yeah, it was before the veto. My bad.
Yeah, before the veto. Was it before the? Yeah, was it?
Yeah, it was before the veto. It was before the veto, I think. Because did they pick?
It was after the veto.
Are you sure?
It was because the HOH was on Thursday and the veto was Friday night.
I don't know. Whatever. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
It was the night after the veto, I think. But basically, there was this huge fight between Paul and Dominique, because basically Dominique was hinting at Paul being a snake, and that led to Paul getting targeted. Not Paul getting targeted, but like
Dominique.
Alex telling Paul things that Dominique was saying, questioning Paul, and then Paul figured out it was Dominique. And then Paul went to Dominique, pulled Dominique up to the HOH room, and then it ended up being the entire house basically in the HOH room, and they were just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And Paul and Dominique, they were just fighting, and that's eventually what led Dominique to become, the big target of the house, is that fight.
Yeah, and it's sad because she was being truthful, though. She wasn't, like, lying.
Yeah.
Paul was lying. It's just Paul is that good at debating. I think that's one of his strongest suits, is the fact that he's really, really good at debating with people and making his opinion, like his what he's saying, seem believable over that person. You know what I mean? So I think Paul,
and what makes a good talker and what makes a good debater and what makes somebody look like an idiot is just asking them questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you ask somebody enough questions, you can trap them with their answers, basically. Because you put them on the spot, they're not prepared to answer. Like, Paul does that really well. Is he just asks questions like, "Did you do this?" Okay, Elena, break your statement down into questions, and then you're able to look more
exactly.
Because it's just how it works, and that's what Paul does best. And I do want to mention something, because I don't even want to talk about the fans, because there's no point. It's not going to change. But people are getting mad at Paul for like coming across arrogant and like degrading. But people need to realize that's Big Brother. Paul's goal in that house, especially if I was in that house, you want to make other people look stupid. That's the point of Big Brother. This is a game on a television show. Like, relax, okay? The goal, make them look stupid. That's the goal. Like, there's nothing personal about it, especially from somebody like Paul's aspect. He's not playing personal. He's just playing from a game perspective. Make them look dumb, make them a target, and look what it did. Dominique everybody hates Dominique, and Paul's sitting in a good position right now. So,
it was definitely
relax.
It was definitely I think the fan base definitely kind of makes it hard, you know what I mean? Because like if you are a fan of Paul, you know, you are going to get a lot of hate, especially on something like Twitter, because, you know, he has kind of, you know, had a little bit of erratic behavior that a lot of people don't seem to respect. Not saying I agree or disagree with it, but, you know, a lot of people don't really
if there was
respect
Twitter,
it.
if there was Twitter
Dr.
around
Will,
in the years
BB-8.
of BB7 and BB8, like Twitter would have exploded at that point because
yeah.
Nobody knows.
Mike Boogie, what he was saying about to Erica and the DR, like people would have a frenzy with that, and they would, Evil Dick just freaking waking everybody up with pots and pans. Everybody would flip out about that, and I think they're definitely overreacting to Paul's behavior. I'm not condoning his behavior by any means.
But, I mean, what behavior though? That's the question. Like, what behavior? What has Paul done?
Yeah.
What has Paul done? In my opinion, like I know you're pissed that Paul is like I know people are pissed that Paul's returned. It ruined the season. Yes, I agree with you. It ruined the season. I'm pissed too. I mean, it didn't ruin the season, but yes, they shouldn't throw one returner in there. But at the same time, if Big Brother called you as a returner and said, you know, do you want to go back in the house? I'm probably giving you like 50,000. Oh my gosh,
It's a paid free vacation. You think he's really gonna turn that down?
Like, don't get mad at Paul because the producers invited him back to play the game, and that's exactly what he's doing.
And plus, I think you got to take into consideration the fact that the reason he came into the house is because Kevin hit the thing to win the $25,000 anyways. You know what I mean?
Everybody
Not saying like I'm sure they would have tried to find a way
10
to
people that hit that buzzer.
Exactly. More than one person hit the buzzer, so it's like it's like I just don't understand the fans. Like Paul, you shouldn't be taking Paul out. Attacking Paul for the things like he's just playing the game. You know what I mean?
Everybody's and there's been people like Jessica, Cody, Jason, you know, Paul. They've all done some problematic things this year. Don't just be hypocritical and call one player out because you don't particularly like them. Call them all out. They all make mistakes. We're all human beings. You know what I mean? Like, I try to just focus on the gameplay aspect of it purely. I don't care what some of the things they're saying. I try not to, you know, focus on that. You know, I just want to watch good gameplay. That's why I watch Big Brother. I love the game, like in the strategy aspect and that, you know, but you know, some people
people are going to be people, fans are going to be fans, and unfortunately we live in a time today where Big Brother and anything really in life is people take things way out of perspective. But it's whatever, you know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, I just don't think people should be so, you know, judgmental of Paul as a person just because they don't like the way that he's playing the game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's like, you shouldn't be attacking his character just because you don't like the way he's playing.
Plus, I don't really see why anybody doesn't particularly like his game. He's playing a good game. Like, he's working. I mean, like, regardless if you don't like him, like, you hate him, like, you just absolutely hate the dude for some odd reason. Like, I mean, I don't know. But, you know, he is playing a brilliant game thus far. He is controlling stuff. He's working a really good social game. He's making all these newbies trust him. So I got to tap my hat off. He's playing a good game, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due. That's simple.
Yeah, that's enough ranting on the fandom because the fandom we could have a special podcast for what's wrong with all the Big Brother fans nowadays, but we'll save that for another day. Basically we had a whole blow up between Paul and Dominique, and that just ostracized Dominique's position in the house. But we had the veto draw, which interestingly enough, Jason was drawn again. Who else was playing? Jason. Man, it's so irrelevant that at this point that I don't even remember who played in veto. Does anybody know?
Dude, I can't remember. I can't remember.
The nominees,
what happened.
Alex, Elena, maybe Matt, maybe Mark.
I don't know. Doesn't really matter.
Some group of that to that extent played in veto, and Jason ended up winning the power of veto. Interesting. More than it, I don't think it was a mental comp, because if it was a mental comp, I don't think Jason would have won. But so it must have been some type of physical comp, and Jason won the veto.
Yeah.
Which kind of, you know, we know that Alex and Jason are close. They're probably, you know, the closest people in the house, and they have all the power this week, which gives them the ability to do whatever they want. And so, you know, it kept on going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Let's use the veto. Let's not use the veto. Let's win the veto. Let's not win the veto. Let's da 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 da. But no, actually, let's talk about this for a second because I think Alex mentioned something about this, that she didn't want to win the veto. She actually wanted Jason to win. Which is a sign that she has the capacity to think about things, unlike Paul, who won HOH and veto. Alex actually let Jason win the veto because she came in second. So like Alex, we could be talking about Alex down the road as somebody who could potentially be winning this game because
she's definitely good. Yeah, she's definitely
as she learns the game as she plays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think she's got good potential. Dominic, you've been kind of quiet. What do you think about Alex? Oh my! Apparently, Florida doesn't like Alex. Dominic, what do you think about Alex so far after her little HOH reign?
After her HOH reign, I think she's Paul's little puppet. She's not really making the big move she wanted to make, and she's just doing what Paul wants.
Yeah, but long term though, I think people got to take into consideration the fact that it was a better move for her long term because
I want to see what happens next week when Paul's finally not safe.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely going to be an interesting week. I mean, that's where you're going to really see how much control and how well Paul's really positioned in the house. That's really where you're going to see, and we're going to know how good of a player Paul really is. Anybody can look amazing in 3 weeks immunity because you can't be put up. You know what I mean? So, that's where we're really going to see, is he in control of maybe the way Derek was in Big Brother 16? We can debate that, but once the immunity is up, that's, where we're going to really
Christian just hates the mention of the word Derek. Like,
I knew Dude, I remember in the group chat, I was like, why do you hate Derek? He got
Let's see if Paul can control the game. Like, I don't know, Derek. I'm like, oh, yeah, because Derek's the only person to ever play Big Brother.
Listen, I love Derek. I don't care what anybody says. I think he gets overrated when he's compared to Will and Dan, but I think he is a good player.
Next subject.
Christian hates Derek.
So,
Hashtag Christian hates Derek.
Christmas.
We're gonna have a freaking
Christmas
Derek
got
debate one day.
picked for veto, but she wasn't allowed to play.
I want a Derek debate.
Yeah, so Christmas got picked. So she didn't play. Christmas didn't play.
I think she was still in the hospital.
Well, isn't it if it's endurance, she can't play or whatever? I don't know.
Remember HOH? Yeah. Remember veto was like Friday night.
Yeah, I think she was there. I don't know. Christmas got picked for veto. Either she played or she didn't play. She probably didn't play.
Let's talk about if Christmas should leave the house.
Yeah, probably.
I just want Christmas evicted.
Doesn't Christmas have like physical therapy like 3 days a week for like 4 hours?
Christmas.
I want her out.
Who's gonna evict her now? Like, are you gonna evict
her? He said I want her out.
That's awful.
Dude, I gotta give credit because, like, in respect for the fact that, like, she.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would not.
Like, even if you don't think it's fair, I mean, that girl is staying in there with like a broken freaking foot, like a foot that shouldn't even.
Vote her out. Nobody's gonna vote her out. That's what's pathetic. You're not gonna.
Yeah, but still, you gotta give props where props due. She just got a surgery, and it's not like I said. Once again, we shouldn't be blaming the players for productions. You know what I mean? Decisions. They decided to bring. They decided to bring Paul back into the house. We shouldn't be blaming Paul for the fact that he's back in. They decided to let Christmas play the game. We shouldn't be blaming Christmas the fact that she's playing the game.
You should be blaming Whistle.
Plus, I think it's gonna be. Right, I don't know why everybody's like nobody's gonna put Christian up, but who's gonna really want to put Raven up?
Raven's.
Oh, Raven's toast. Raven's.
Oh, really?
Toast. Yeah.
Really?
Somebody's going to target Raven. I think that's one.
I just thought nobody was going to really want to go after her, because of the fact that,
Yeah, but people are going to catch on. Another thing, it's so funny. The fans have already pegged Raven's disease. Like,
oh yeah.
Raven's done when she gets out of the house. She is toast. She's going to get some unfair treatment probably. But Raven. Yeah, I don't think Raven's gonna make it as far as we originally thought.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I don't think so.
I think it's dude. I don't know.
I don't even know who's gonna be the target next week. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like that's why everybody keeps getting mad about this season. But I really like this season because we all thought Jessica was gonna be targeted if she doesn't win HOH. And look, she's not targeted. We didn't think Dominique was gonna be targeted this week. Dominique's targeted. We didn't think Paul was really gonna turn on. Dominique would really want to push for her to get up. He did. You know what I mean? So, like, this season is really cool, and I find it very intriguing and very interesting.
Yeah.
Feeds has been boring, but
the feeds have been boring. The feeds have been more than boring, but the episodes have actually been really good, to be honest. But yeah, I think anything could with Paul being in the house, anything can happen at any point in time, and I think that's what the producers wanted. And
everybody's just bashing Big Brother like something.
He's a player who is willing to make a risky move, and he's not just playing it very calculated and very like conservative.
Right.
A big move, regardless if it's strategically the best move or not. He's willing to do that though, and I think that really draws to the viewers. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's doing that now, but you know what I mean. Like last year, for instance.
Yeah, but not only that, but also the fact that just Paul's presence in the house causes, chaos. Because think about week 1.
Yeah.
What would have happened? Cody would have just backdoored Jason, and Jason would have been going home, and everything would have been, the team would have been still intact. Everything would have been going smooth. But just Paul's presence in the house caused Cody to do something different, and the whole game just shakes up from there. Paul in the house causes, things to happen that normally are not going to happen, whether it's Paul doing it or not. Just him being in the house, it's going to cause different things to happen, which ultimately brings better gameplay and better
entertainment
and engages
better
more
gameplay.
people.
Yeah,
So,
better entertainment, better gameplay. It game changes the game, and it makes it, continues to make it entertaining for the viewers, and it makes it just, if I was in the game and I'm playing, it would be fun for me to play the game, with that happening for safety. If that makes sense.
No, for sure, it makes perfect sense.
Team
so
Paul.
Jason, Whistlenut wins the veto, and he just kept on going back and forth whether they should use it or not, back and forth, and I personally, I'll let you guys decide, but I personally think that they probably should have used it on Jessica. They already, I think they should have used it on Jessica and put up somebody. Christian, what do you think?
I feel like that's unnecessary. That's an unnecessary decision because maybe earlier in the week, if Dominic shut her mouth and wasn't going to be evicted, like we all know it's going to happen now, maybe you could have went after, I don't know, say a Mark or a Raven or somebody. But since Dominique blew up her game so much by isolating herself and not talking to anybody, it was a good decision to not do something unnecessary and just leave. The nomination's the same. Jessica's not leaving. Dominique's leaving.
Yeah, I kind of see where you're coming from. Like, there's no need to shake up. If the result's not going to change, there's no need to shake anything up. But at the same time, if you use the veto on Jessica, you kind of gain her as an ally per se, and then put up somebody like Mark. If Paul decides that he wants to get Mark out, then all of a sudden the game blows up again. You know what I mean? Like, that creates the distrust between Elena and Paul. Like, the game just blows up. So I think, putting Mark up wouldn't have hurt anything, but leaving him the same ultimately was the safest, most calm play.
Yeah, it was the same. It was pretty much for Alex's game. It was the best case scenario. Why want to use the POV on Jessica? Yes, you can gain her as an ally, but then you're putting Mark on the block, and later down the road he can be like, oh well, you tried, you put me on the block, regardless if it's a pawn or not. Pawns do go home. You know what I mean? And I could definitely see if Mark was on the block, Paul really trying to flip the script. Do I think he would have done that? Probably no. I mean, I think, Dominique's going to really want to go guns blazing at him if she stayed the next week. But, you know what I mean? I could definitely see I could definitely see someone like – that's the thing about Paul is I could definitely see a type of player like Paul really try to do something like that. So I think it was a good move to just keep the noms the same.
Yeah, I think it, it was the most reasonable move, not to shake anything up and kind of just play it cool. I don't fault
Dominic.
Yeah, what about you, Dominic? What do you think?
About what?
I always want to do that.
About Alex not using the veto,
So what
or
do you
Jason
think,
not using the veto.
Malcolm? What do you think?
About Jason not using the veto? I feel like he's just doing what everyone wants. Jason's really not trying to make big moves.
Jason doesn't know the game yet, like literally.
Yeah, but I don't think Jason really needed to use the power of veto to gain Jessica's allegiance, because I think they're kind of already somewhat of like
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think it was like she's gonna understand that Dominique's 97% going home. It's just like last week, like everybody knew Cody was pretty much going home.
You know what would have been interesting, and it was talked about for like 2 seconds. But if they decided to backdoor Kevin, which it was talked about for like 2 seconds, yeah. Jason was like, we should backdoor Kevin, and it was like a 2-minute conversation between Jason and Alex, but then it got brushed off. Yeah, they were going to basically say they were going to say that the allies, Kevin's allies, were telling them that he was the one that flipped when they put him on the block.
Wait, so who would they have used the POV on?
Jessica, yeah.
Yeah, but that's not. That would have happened.
No,
Paul would have ensured the fact that Dominic goes home, and he's not going to lose one of his closest allies.
That's why it was only talked about for like 2 seconds. It wasn't anything.
I was going to say if Alex really did strongly even consider that would be dumb for her behalf, because there was no way that
Kevin alone.
Paul was going to allow Kevin to go home like that. No way.
But no, they are targeting Kevin now. They are targeting Kevin.
Well, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen Alex listen, he's playing you, and it's funny though, because like somebody commented and was like, "Well, you're playing, like Paul's playing you," and I just thought that was really funny. But
yeah, if like we said 2 weeks ago, we thought that Kevin, not even 2 weeks ago, a week ago, we thought that Kevin and Dominique were playing the best games, and now all of a sudden they're targets. So this game can flip on its head really bad.
And it's all really because of Paul, because Paul's the one who told Kevin to do the hinky vote, and he's also the one who made, get Dominique kind of on the block.
Kevin's not going anywhere, guys.
I think that's just funny that, Paul really is the one who's doing all this, and they don't really seem like they're that mad at Paul. I mean, the nominees, like Dominique's mad at Paul, but like everybody else seems like they really like Paul and want to work with him for the most part.
Yeah. I don't.
That's just funny to me.
I don't see Kevin going home. I just don't see him going home. But I see him getting targeted, but I don't see him going home. But let's talk about the events that are happening this week. I think, do we have 3 episodes? Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? Oh, that's so overkill. That's so overkill. But hey, 3 days of Big Brother 3.
Listen, I need a validation. Is there going to be the buyback? Like, is the dinner temptation?
Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to talk about next. Post in the chat what your opinion on this is, because I have no clue. I tweeted out today that there's not going to be the Den of Temptation this week. For one, they would have already given it away on Friday like they usually do. For 2, they would have revealed who got it on Sunday's episode. For 3, if they halt the eviction this week, then only 3 people battle in the battle back. It just doesn't add up.
Yeah.
I personally say there's no Den of Temptation this week, and that is that the person who.
Yeah, I guess you could maybe say, what if they're holding it off till Friday's episode?
They are.
But I don't see that. I don't really see that.
No, I think Friday. No. Friday, real time, Big Brother time, after the person's come back into the house, because the person will come back into the house after the eviction. They'll do the round. The person will be in the house on Thursday.
I don't know. That's confusing though. I kept deciphering that.
Fees will be down. Fees will be down after the eviction. Fees will be down for the entire day.
It does, but I heard somebody was saying, I don't remember which person it was saying that they heard something was going on in the backyard, building was going on in the backyard.
Right, they might be doing the battle back in rounds like they did last year.
Yeah.
So today, Cody and Cameron faced off, or Jillian and you know what I mean,
which Jillian has no way to. She has no
needs to win. End of story.
But it doesn't really make sense though if there was only 3 people, because it would not be able to add up unless they just really did have one pure competition and made it like that. But I still think that would be stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't think. I personally think it should be the first 2 evictees and then the last 2. So Cody and whoever, Dominique probably, and then Jillian and Cameron. And I think it should be like that. Or you could do it like how Big Brother 16. Remember when Zach got evicted, and then they had that little I don't remember what kind of, it was like a freaking, I don't know, that competition that Nicole won, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I could see it being something like that, maybe.
Yeah, Julie said that we will find out on Thursday who won the temptation. When did Julie say that, Lane?
No, I did see that because somebody said it, it was her saying it in the episode or something like that. I seen it on Twitter and I forgot to tag it and show it to y'all.
That's
Oh
cool,
yeah,
but
that's interesting.
Dominic's leaving.
I don't know. I honestly
That's
don't
what I'm
know.
saying. I definitely
Because feeds haven't went down yet. Because whenever they do the Den of Temptation, feeds go down for that period of time. So whenever feeds go down, we'll know that it's for Den of Temptation. So, I don't know. Who knows? Dominique could have the Den of Temptation right now. It's definitely between Dominique and Jessica who's gonna get it. But
What
I'm
about Alex?
no.
But then I don't know. It's gonna be. So if I keep hearing people saying like if they don't accept the Den of Temptation, which odds of them not accepting it is very small. If they don't accept it, I heard there's not going to be a buyback competition though.
Yeah, I don't know. Or if I don't know. Yeah, because the curse of that Den of Temptation will probably be the buyback. That will probably be the.
That's what I'm saying. It's too confusing. I'm not even really try to get onto that.
I'm not even gonna try and guess what's gonna happen. I don't know. Anything can
I don't
happen
even
at this point.
Honestly, everybody keeps saying want to vote. Now I see everybody saying vote Dominique, but
Nope.
I don't think Jessica needs it at all. Even if you still think Jessica needs it, like she is in a solid position right now where she does not need it.
But
like if
she may
anybody
need
really
it in
needs
4
it.
weeks. She may need it in 4 weeks because it lasts.
Well, yeah,
4
but
weeks.
I don't see.
No,
I
I say give it to Dominique. I say give it to Dominique.
No,
That's my
Dominique
personal-
gotta
Yeah, I
go.
think
She gotta
Dominique.
go.
If anybody needs it, it's Dominique right now.
That's cool. I don't care if she needs it. She gotta go. She gotta get out the house.
She has to go because
Okay,
if
here's
she's
my
not- yeah.
opinion on it.
If she
Here's
comes
what we
back-
know. I'll just start with what we know. Okay, we know that Wednesday we have an episode of Big Brother where they do the veto competition in the ceremony.
Make sure to like and subscribe. Bye now.
By job, yeah. Make sure to like and subscribe. No, but we have the Wednesday veto ceremony and veto competition. Thursday eviction, and Friday battle back.
And then Sunday
And-
nomination.
Do you just want to do a little? Let's just ask us who you if we really think there's going to be a halting hex this week.
Yeah, because I
I'm
have
just
no.
gonna be optimistic and say that we're really gonna get the Den of Temptation is really gonna happen this week.
I
I'm
hope
just
so.
gonna say it. Screw it. I'm just gonna
Welcome.
say it. What about you, Dominic?
Dominic, you forgot to say make sure to like and subscribe.
What's up? Oh, we're off. We're off air.
No.
Okay, good. I thought I missed it. Y'all went all robotic for me for a second.
No,
Where's
I wanted
Malcolm
you to
at?
yeah
Where's
because I wanted
Malcolm?
him to say something.
But yeah, and we know that Julie said some way somehow the Den of Temptation could be stopped, or I mean, not the battle back could be stopped, and they could stop the person from entering the
Yeah.
house. Who freaking knows at this point? It's gonna be crazy.
Guys, I
Feeds
got
will
a
probably
question.
be down at the end of the week. So we're not gonna really know until we watch the episode on Friday. After Friday, we'll know everything that happens. We'll have a podcast on it, and we'll talk about it all. But yeah, at that point,
Guys, I got a question.
I don't know. Yeah, hopefully the podcast. Yeah.
I got a question.
Jalen keeps me busy.
Gosh. Yeah. I don't know.
Ask everybody in the comments though if they're gonna hit Hearts of Reality.
Oh, I did want to talk about that because we got something
Wait.
pretty cool happening. What? Go ahead.
All right,
Go ahead.
guys. Anybody that watches this, add us. Who do you want to win HOH, and who do you want to be targeted next week?
I want Paul.
Yeah. I'll
Oh,
post a poll.
shut
Also,
up.
go to my Twitter because I'm going to post the poll after the podcast. I'm going to post the poll. Do you think the halting hex will be used? Do you think the halting hex will be in play this week? And y'all
Do you think
reply
Dominic
to that
should leave?
poll, retweet it, do whatever. But yeah, so we got something pretty cool happening. That's kind of developed since the last time we were live. A few of me and Tyler for sure. Hopefully Christian could join us. We all live in Florida, so
Hey, let's go.
we're going to be going to Hearts of Reality in Orlando. Basically, it's a charity event. I'll put the charity link in the description, and also I'll put like the link and I'll put all the stuff in the description. But yeah, basically it's a charity event, and like there's gonna be like 50 Survivor players, 20 Big Brother players, a bunch of amazing race stars, reality stars from all over the spectrum, and yeah, we're gonna be hanging out there for the weekend, for
Amazing.
Friday, Saturday, maybe just Friday. Who knows? We're gonna be there, so
There we go. My
I don't
camera.
know. I might like vlog it or something. I don't know. Is that a thing? Vlogging, is that a thing?
Yes,
Yeah,
Is
that's-
that a thing that you?
yes, it is. Vlogging is a thing.
Oh, you talking about
You
a thing
guys-
that I go watch, or like a thing?
Yeah.
That's happening?
Yeah, no, I know it's a thing, but like, is that a thing that you guys will watch? Like a random like Hearts of Reality vlog with like a bunch of Big Brother stars? I don't know. Y'all let me know.
Survivor too.
Yeah, Survivor 2, because eventually we're gonna be talking about Survivor soon. Because casts,
Woo!
casts have came out for seasons 35 and 36. So
What?
we'll be yeah.
Boy,
Cast
Y'all
came
gonna
out
have
for
Survivor. I want
Deuces.
BBLTT.
Yeah, cast came out for and BBOTT. Hopefully we get some news on that. Who knows? We're gonna be slammed here soon because we're gonna have to be talking about Survivor, Big Brother, and BBOTT probably. Who knows? But yeah, we got some special stuff coming up. So yeah, a vlog maybe. But hopefully it's a good time and we have a good time. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode, I guess, because there's nothing really else to talk about. You know what I mean? We got a monotone week. Dominic was targeted from the beginning, and Dominic's going home. No special back doors, no crazy vetoes, nothing.
Yeah.
Just kind of a cool week in the Big Brother house. A very entertaining week, because we had the fights and stuff that happened that was unexpected. But go to my Twitter, vote in that poll. Let me know if I should vlog the Hearts of Reality stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope
Make sure y'all go on Christian's
Make sure to like and subscribe.
Subscribe.
Oh my god.
No, hold on. I want one last thing to say. Make sure y'all go on Christian's Twitter and tell Mike that Derek is one of the greatest players ever.
You at me,
Yeah,
you get him blocked.
yeah. At Christian and say Derek is the GOAT. No, don't say that.
At the King of BB. At the King of BB. That's my name. At me. Who you think's the best player of all time? You say Derek, you get him blocked. Bye.
It's Dr. Will,
Yeah.
obviously. Like, that's my favorite player, but I just love this. Like, I love Derek, and it's
Also,
funny because he hates Derek.
At me if I should ditch work and go to Hearts of Reality, because you know what?
Yes.
I may do it.
Yeah, at
Listen,
Christian, ditch college,
we
big
all
work.
on this podcast, though, we all love Dr. Will besides Dom.
Yes.
For some reason, Dom.
Yeah,
Dominic's like, I love him.
Dominic likes
Jojo Spatora.
Andy, yeah, Andy and JoJo. Who knows?
He likes
Who knows?
Daniel Murphy.
I'm a pretty big Nicole fan.
Yeah,
Boy!
Dominic likes.
All right, that's
Dominic.
it. We're done. No, get out.
Yep. See you later. No, Dominic likes to troll, so who knows who he really likes and all. But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. It's been another great
Biggest Dr.
episode.
Will fan.
I'm just gonna stop saying when we're gonna go live because I'm always wrong because freaking stuff comes up between all of us. But it'll most likely be Wednesday after the episode. So just the best way to know when we're about to go live is just put notifications on, subscribe, put notifications on, but also check all of our Twitters. Somebody will tweet it
BB,
before we go live. But yeah, thanks for everybody for watching. Another great episode. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Bye.